Hey, Puppy Trades! My most recent post is a reminder, or I guess really just an example, of how the vast majority of the money that I make comes from selling options through ETFs. So, in this video, we're going to go over something different, buying options directly in a brokerage account, which I did today on a stock called Plug Power. Now, one thing I like to say about buying options when I do it is that I like to say that I have upside risk to something I buy options on. Commodities are the best example of that. I've talked about buying long calls on Ring Energy, and I'm actually very glad that I've lost money on those because I took a small position and I lost money. Ring didn't explode, right? I'm happy that oil is down. I'm very happy that Ring hasn't gone up into a very powerful wave three, right? So I'm fortunate that oil hasn't exploded, right? That's an example of buying long calls because I have upside exposure to oil. I save money because if oil gets more expensive, just like if soybeans get more expensive, everything gets more expensive. That's called inflation. Okay, and that's kind of the pipeline. But anyway, I've also talked about in a recent video this potential scenario where SPY reaches a really important target on the long-term time frames, 609, and it enters what fans of Archer, as well as fans of the stock market and Elliott wave theory call the danger zone. All right, the stock market's about to be in the danger zone. That's right. People have been saying this is an exit liquidity rally that we're seeing, what we call a rotation in the stock market. So, am I directly exposed to long calls on Plug Power? Is it really safe to say that if Plug Power goes up, I miss out, right? Did I really miss out on Rigetti Quantum? I didn't have calls on it, but it went up a lot, right? And I kind of knew it was going to go up a lot. But my priorities were not to invest in Rigetti Quantum Leaps, although that would have been a great example. We'll talk about Rigetti and where it's been showing up before its explosive rally, as well as QBTS, which I called perfectly, because that's also where Plug Power showed up, that option screen that I've made a video about. So this idea that the S&P 500 could blow off top into wave three is really playing out right now. We look at this; these all appear to be ending diagonals. In the daily time frame, I've talked about 616 is the 100% extension of the length of wave one placed at the wave two low, and this target is 620, the 61.8% extension of wave one. Those are the wave three target zones. 616 to 620 before a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. If wave 4 retests the wave 1 high and wave 5 is the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low, all in all we could see 632 be reached for SPY within wave 5, and then that is where kind of the red light goes off. The red light is kind of, depending on time frames, already going off. I'll get into that in further videos. But that's one reason is people are saying that these small cap stocks are being used as exit liquidity, right? So that's a really important thing to think about. Remember what happened in 2020 when we had that big inflation after the Black Swan event? And we had a lot of these small cap growth stocks explode after the Black Swan event. We look at some of these clean energy stocks and we see on the long-term time frames, if Nvidia and SPY blow off top, there could be exit liquidity in the clean energy sector. And I believe Tesla and First Solar are the large cap leading indicators of that. I've talked about Ford in my most recent video as well, another electric vehicle idea. I've also talked about NIO in recent videos. Looking at Nvidia, this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. A perfect wave 3 was predicted. I also predicted the wave 3 top perfectly. So now I believe a wave 4 correction has ended. If wave 5 is the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low, we can see Nvidia go all the way up to 172. So that's a more long-term, I guess, blow-off top scenario. But still, this appears to be a clean ending diagonal. And we can talk about what ending diagonals are, but this appears to be an ending diagonal. Okay? When this wave 5 ends, just like SPY, it's going to be, a lot of people aren't going to be happy. A lot of people are going to be sad. When? All right, it's not going to be happy times. Okay? We don't want when. I don't want when. I still hold NVDY, and I'm going to collect these massive option premiums, though, because that position is already paid for itself. But anyway, while these blow-off tops are occurring in large cap tech, we look at the long-term charts of In-Phase Energy, Tesla, Canadian Solar, Plug Power, and Solar Edge. We see possible cyclical bottoms. And with Tesla exploding, that might be the momentum changer that really says, hey, we got a Tesla rotation this quarter. If I'm like the coach of the clean energy bulls, things haven't been good. I bought calls on Plug Power today, and I have a down position in In-Phase Energy. My average cost is between 160 and 165. Okay? So I've harvested the beta of Plug Power. So if I was the coach of the clean energy bulls, I'd be saying, look at what happened to Tesla. Tesla was down with the entire rest of the sector. All right? Tesla had its quarter, and First Solar has had its quarter. Next year, it's looking like we're getting this rotation. All right, that's what the coach is saying. Now, the coach is currently on a losing team. All right, so maybe the coach isn't that good in this very specific clean energy scenario. The Tesla's exploded. First Solar has exploded. A lot of the clean energy looks like this. NIO is really one of the more better ones just because it's in China recently. Anyway, China, the reason I bring up China, one, it has clean energy stocks like Decao, I hope I'm saying that right, DQ, and it has NIO and Li Auto. I've talked about those stocks. But China is also an example of an exit liquidity sector. Okay? So let's just get into Plug Power for a second. Why I bought the calls. I bought calls that expire in between 5 to 8 months that are currently exactly at the money. I'm not going to count post-market. So I bought at the money calls that expire between 5 to 8 months. Okay, I want to give a range because just to give a range. I don't want to tell you guys exactly what I own. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Plug Power isn't moving based on my position. I managed risk with position size. So we're going to talk about the Elliott wave of Plug Power. We look at this large rally, and I measure the time fibs. We're going to see something pretty interesting. On the monthly chart, the beginning of this clear wave 1 from this low to this high is this month, right now. That's pretty cool. For that being wave 1 and this being wave 2. So that's pretty sweet, right? That could mean that during the third time fib period, we see wave 3. Or wouldn't that kind of just kind of sound right? During the third time fib, we see wave 3. And I've also talked about how I have a position on In-Phase Energy where my loss on In-Phase Energy, if Plug Power explodes with In-Phase Energy, my loss on In-Phase Energy, if Plug Power explodes with it, I'm going to recoup those losses and be in the driver's seat real quick. because of the power of options. If clean energy, in phase energy, and plug power are correlated, that's part of the analysis too, and they start rallying together, I can also average down on in phase energy if plug power starts getting deep in the money. So that's called harvesting the beta. Plug power has a much higher beta, it's extremely volatile. Clean energy has kept going down. Now I'm harvesting the beta that plug power has fallen so much, and I've got a really low strike price on some leaps. Okay, and they're at the money right now. So this is wave one, and this is wave two. This can be wave three. Same thing with in phase energy. So in phase energy can be one, two, three, four, five. So I'm down on in phase energy from 160, 165. I could pretty easily average that at 74 pretty easily. What I kind of did instead is I bought leaps on plug power, but if they start to run off together, I can still average down and be very happy about in phase energy. But right now, it's important to understand my in phase energy position, my plug power position. Um, and this is giving me a lot of exposure to clean energy itself for a very long time. So that's another cool thing. If this, I've seen, we're going to talk about a really awesome option screen right now. This is what I'm looking for in phase energy personally. I'm not going to sell my shares. I'm not going to sell my plug power position either. Okay? So this is really above 58.33. This is going to end the Elliott wave portion. We can talk about just this kind of being a theme. Canadian solar has a pretty chart. 1 ABC2, 1 ABC2, and the clean subdivision here for CSIQ. This video is going to do really well, so make sure to like it. Make sure to subscribe. This video is going to do great. I'm really, really happy about this. So this is going well. CSIQ is a beautiful wave count. This is going to be a pretty chart. This is a really pretty chart. It just shows how explosive things can get if 2025 is a rotation year for China. This isn't a Chinese stock, but China has a lot of clean energy that looks like this. First Solar in Tesla, really Tesla exploding is a big green flag, in my opinion. Big green flag to see Tesla explode for these stocks. So that's Canadian Solar. We're going to talk about this superstar option screen right now. This superstar option screen, the real reason I bought these calls, because there's a lot more that goes into options than technical analysis. But this screen, I'll be honest, this screen is one of the things that I think I'm really dumb for sharing this for free. The only reason I do is because Bar Chart does it for free. So I gotta do it for free too. Bar Chart has this amazing, this is not the magic screen. I said for a long time there's no magic screen. Man, I've said for a long time there's no magic screen. I don't know, man. Archer Aviate, like most of these, Canaan Creative, Archer Aviation, ASTS has been on this since like 5. Imperial Petroleum, holy cow. That's gonna explode. Imperial Petroleum is probably my next option buy. But all the quantum stocks were on this. Just anecdotally, this screen is amazing. All right, I saw plug power on this. So this is the long call screen sorted by most likely to be in the money. Really incredible. LXRX and Imperial Petroleum. Those just got added to a watch list for me.